he's in a dangerous area. You know what I mean? Like not too many. I think. Look, I'll forgive him for the things that he said because I already identify with something's going on that I don't understand. That's him doing what he does, like what Kanye would do.
And I know when I put that up that they were gonna come, come for me for real. And that's when I got knocks on my door and familiar faces, saying, hey, maybe you should come to a retreat.
As far as the affiliation with him dealing with government informants, it's no secret,
Right.
at all. Um, do I think it's crazy that nobody brings that to nobody brings that subject up? Yeah, I believe that. Yeah, of course, they affiliating with them people.
The reason why she's worried about how Jay would respond is because she's the CEO of Rock Nation, but in her former life, she was a federal informant. In 1994, Desiree Perez was arrested for bringing in 35 keys of Griselda Blanco into Miami. Under pressure, she agreed to wear a wire for the DEA.
Hey, bro, Jay-Z, I know you got killers. Please don't send them out.
Okay, so it appears that Jay-Z is being implicated in yet another snitching conspiracy, and this time, two people are involved. Jay's own childhood pal and 50 Cent after Kanye recently embarked on yet another tirade against Jay and Beyonce, including targeting their twins. 50 simply sided with him. However, now that 50 has formally entered the conversation, he is making some grave claims about Jay-Z. Furthermore, 50 just finished calling Big Meech a rat. Apparently, Jay-Z is a larger snitch on his mind right now, and it becomes even messier at this point. According to an unearthed online interview with one of Jay-Z's childhood buddies, Jay genuinely attempted to cast him as a snitch while secretly working with the federal government himself. However, that isn't all. Due to the recent death of Irv Gotti, there have been fresh rumors that Jay-Z and Diddy conspired with the government to prevent the success of a music distribution company that was only owned by black people.
Easy metrics because instead of you recouping $1 million, you recoup $1.1 million. Right? Shortly after that, the feds raided me.
The fans appear to be split on this one. Does 50 Cent have a valid reason to criticize Jay? Or is this simply another instance of 50 being 50 and using any justification to disparage his long-standing rival? Although some criticize 50 for allowing Kanye and claim that he is only using this as a means of furthering his small-scale feuds, others applaud 50 for being one of the few individuals in the business with the courage to publicly criticize Jay-Z. Yes. Let's get straight to it since there is a lot to digest here.
Crazy, but when you start getting in certain areas, they're not gonna actually be compassionate for what's going on with him, or because he's not crazy. But he does
As Kanye's Maeve remarks on Jay-Z and Beyonce's children are being ridiculed by everyone, the complete opposite is being done by 50 Cent out here. 50 is actually making a joke about how hard it is for him to keep up with Kanye's level of animosity for Jay-Z, rather than denouncing his actions. In case it was lost on you, Kanye went on a crazy tirade on X, attacking the Carters in the most repulsive manner imaginable. He even referred to their twins, Rumi and Sir the Ward, as being challenged. Kanye, of course, didn't stop there. He returned after receiving a lot of negative feedback. Saying that he feels sorry for Jay-Z nevertheless, he used the occasion to openly express all of the resentment he had been harboring for years. After being upset that Jay and Bianca failed to attend his wedding to Kim Kardashian, Kanye wrote, "I love Jay-Z, and I do feel bad. I always felt like the black sheep, like I wanted family in this music. I'd run on stages thinking I was doing the right thing, and would always be a slight of not coming to my first wedding, him putting Kendrick on the Super Bowl halftime show, insulting my red hat on DA, and never inviting me or even us to partake. I believe that he and his spouse might have given me more influence over my children. They could have prevented the Kardashians from simply running me over with their hurts by using their cultural standing. Therefore, both of them, as I was the one who needed them." However, if you assumed that was the end of it, you must be seeing one of Kanye's tirades on X for the first time. Following his return, he posted more about the Carters' claims that Jay and his wife are slaves to the Jewish system, and that he would never say sorry for. Those remarks regarding the twins of Carter, the Carter family, will never be apologized to unless they assist me with my kids. The Carters and the Kardashians are essentially the same, with the exception that the Kardashians are former traffickers, Kanye wrote. Going back to 50 Cent now. Rather than confronting Kanye, he chose to encourage him. 50 responded to Kanye's tirades against the Carters on Instagram by posting a copy of Kanye's post against the Carter twins along with a picture of his next album, Bully, with the words, "I didn't post anything yesterday because, yes, the kids said they are artists. I can't compete with that kind of dish. I'm listening to his album now." Naturally, after criticizing Jay-Z and supporting Diddy, Kanye jumped right in when he saw that 50 Cent had thanked him. He expressed his humility on X, but let's avoid misinterpreting it. Later, 50 made it apparent that he isn't exactly on Diddy's side. He is simply following the overall industry trend that Kanye has been riding, according to 50. To the extent that, "I just want to grin, not agree with Diddy on anything. Yes, man, smile, and F them all. Hold on, but F him." What other reality is this when 50 Cent has been praying for Diddy's destruction for years, and is now backing someone who is actively promoting Diddy and demanding his release? Remember that 50 is now working on a documentary regarding Diddy's crimes.
Unleashing a Diddy Do It documentary is now official. The big headline, Netflix is producing a docuseries from Curtis 50 Cent Jackson about the federal charges of trafficking and assault and the allegations against Diddy Combs. 50 tweeted the announcement. "I've been telling y'all about this weird expletive."
What's really going on here then? Does this imply that 50 truly hates Jay-Z more than he does Diddy? It certainly seems that way at the moment. However, if you thought this was a one-time remark, think again. According to some insiders, 50 is preparing to brand Jay-Z a snitch to drag him in the same manner that he dragged Big Meech. So is this about revealing the facts, or is 50 merely engaging in his preferred business chess game? And in the first place, where did these accusations of Jay being a snitch even originate? Recently, Jay-Z and Beyoncé were attacked by DeHaven, a childhood acquaintance, who claimed that Jay had close ties to federal informants, especially his right-hand lady Desiree Perez. The actual reason Jay has managed to remain untouchable, according to DeHaven, is that all of his previous business partners and pals, including Diddy, are being removed one by one. You are unaware of the identity of DeHaven Herbie, an original member of Jay-Z's past who was formerly one of his closest buddies from the Marcy Projects. Jay was close to DeHaven at one point, and he even became the godfather of DeHaven's daughter. DeHaven claims that Jay-Z revealed his actual nature at a single instant that altered their relationship completely. Jay and DeHaven drove to town one evening to get their plug re-upped, weighing 450 grams. Suddenly, they were ambushed. The day, to divert Jay's attention, Haven acted quickly. However, when DeHaven subsequently caught up with him, something was wrong. He was having trouble breathing. Jay discovered then that DeHaven had been shot, but he nevertheless flagged down a cab in spite of his wounds. However, before leaving for the hospital, he gave Jay all of their money and the merchandise they were carrying, instructing him to get his mother and meet him there. Jay fulfilled his request exactly, but fast forward. After a while, things changed. Although DeHaven received a 5-year term for the stolen chemicals, Jay got away with it. The two of them became involved in a case. And this is when the controversy started, according to DeHaven, who says Jay left him to pursue the case by himself. Jay, meanwhile, retreated and charged DeHaven with snitching. DeHaven has refuted those snitching accusations, and he even made fun of him in the song, No Hook, rapping FH DeHaven for caving. Repeated accusations, but the harm was already done. As DeHaven was marginalized, Jay-Z's business continued to grow. But at last, DeHaven has the opportunity to present his case. In a recent interview with Real Life Productions, he also said that Jay has had untouchable status for years because of his strong security due to his relationship with a former government informant, and Desiree Perez, the president of Rock Nation.
Good evening, everyone.
I say shout out to Desi. Shout out to Desi. She got me out the contract.
Rock Nation.
Yeah, shout out to Desiree.
Okay.
You know about this?
Nah.
Desiree Perez became a cooperating witness for the DEA in the 1990s. She got arrested in 1994 for possession of 35 kilos of cocaine.
Desiree Perez and the whole wicked system of Rock Nation.
As Jay-Z left without a scratch, DeHaven described how he was set up back in 1994. Desiree was then brought up, and he said that Jay's unharmed state wasn't a coincidence.
The chick had a plan too. Like, yo, we could do things. And I can guarantee you the conversation with Emery, even when Emery came home and seen, he came home and seen the same thing. Yo, you dealing with her?
Who's the chick?
DeHaven claims that to guarantee his place among the influential people in the industry, Jay most likely made a deal and abandoned his previous team.
We ain't gonna be breathing in the same ear. That's what you worried about, them that don't have nothing sitting home? Where you gonna be if you don't get on this side of town, get on this side? I can see that conversation happening and move all his integrity and morals to the side. But to act like, yo, I'm gonna join forces and do the same thing and play this like this? Come on, man. That's humiliating. And now I got you as a yes man. Like, yo, bro, you couldn't even speak up for me. You know what I'm saying? So all of that shit is twisted. And that's how all those conversations, that's how they think of us. They like, really, those guys talking about snitching this and that, they ain't, what you
Jay-Z first vowed to support him, but then completely betrayed him, DeHaven claimed.
When did they come to you and say, yo, look, we gonna let you rock. Somebody gonna have to take the fall, though. Because I wasn't around for that investigation. So we're gonna throw DeHaven in. So when they threw me in, and as the case revels, Emery take his plea deal, my other co-defendant take his plea deal, and I fight. I'm fighting. I got my lawyer in my ear talking about, yo, if I can get you 20 years, if I can get you 20, would you take 20? Because I ain't got no off on the table. They want the L from me. And I'm telling my lawyer, we ain't looking at no paperwork yet. The fuck, what we doing here? Right. You understand? Well, we ain't looking at no paperwork yet. And I ain't gonna take 20. 20 is life to me. We gonna fight. Then when I do look at the paperwork,
Jay cut him off, according to DeHaven, not just for personal reasons but likely as part of the agreement he made with Desiree and her government to get his own come up.
I win my case and come home, you don't want to talk to me.
You think somebody put a battery in his back? Maybe they put...
You don't want to talk to me. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, what is the reason why you don't want to talk to me? So is it that? You scared to tell me, say, yo, man, they got me. It was nothing I could do. So why you say you was gonna help me? You know what I'm saying? Then this don't add up at some point. And
DeHaven then denied that Jay might be the next to fall after Diddy, claiming that people were viewing it incorrectly. Jay is not just another target, he is in the same group as the guys who brought down Diddy. For this reason, when people discuss the higher-ups, the Illuminati, or whatever you want to call them, they are not targeting Jay because, in DeHaven's opinion, Jay is them.
If you do the history of most of the people that got in trouble in the industry, big trouble, who they went to for help? When Lil Wayne was in trouble, who did he go to? When Meek Mills was in trouble, who did he go to? Meek Mills said it himself. Desiree helped me. You understand? So how could he be up next? You know what I'm saying? He is them people. They go to him when they got problems. And what they gonna say if he don't come up in nothing? What they gonna say? Told you, he ain't got nothing to do with that. They still gonna cover it up anyway. You talking about a woman that had a relationship with the feds for 20-something years, right? When you working for them, you got an agent, your agent that's in charge of you. You think she don't have no relationships with over the years with all these agents that became retired and connected and this and that and the third till they just know shit. She got power.
However, here's the thing. There are other instances where Jay-Z's name has been connected to snitching accusations outside DeHaven's account. There's also the whole Suge Knight and Irv Gotti case, in which it was claimed that Jay and Diddy were conspiring behind the scenes to shut down a music distribution company that was entirely owned by Black people. Industry sources claim that in the early 2000s, Sudi Irv and Jay Prince were working to establish a significant distribution network that would allow Black musicians complete control over their music, eliminating the need for large labels. But before they could accomplish that, the federal government intervened through the notorious hip-hop task force and began to slam them with legal issues left and right, including RICO charges. Before you knew it, Jay and Diddy had triumphed once more.
Dash, Irv Gotti, Jay Prince. They was trying to get a distribution company.
It wasn't a distribution.
It was a union. Honestly, it was all Suge's idea.
It was all his plan, and it was a hell of a plan, man. He was like, yo, we get all the artists together. And he wasn't just talking about hip-hop, every artist in general. And he was like, okay, say you got $1 million budget.
So instead of $1 million, you'd have $1.1 million with $100,000 going to the union.
Now, this will all get recouped back to the artist. It'll go towards an annuity. It'll go towards a retirement fund.
And it was easy metrics because instead of you recouping $1 million, you recoup $1.1 million.
Someone left that meeting talking about our move. Unfortunately, feds hit all of us at the same time, which I don't think was a coincidence.
Jay went and told. He went and told. He blew the spot up. Feds came in and started hitting cases because they all said, yo, we're going to put our money together.
Additionally, a stack of documents at Bad Boy Records purports to demonstrate Diddy's close ties to the federal government, according to Diddy's former bodyguard Gandil. Gene didn't say outright that Jay-Z snitched, but he did suggest that he had heard from several trustworthy sources that Jay might have assisted the federal government in some way.
Kirk Burrows, that's the other person that was with them. They go up to the feds with all this paperwork. You understand? And I mentioned this before. You understand? They not only talking about the extortion stuff, they talking about how they trying to be made to have this what you call this promotion, this distribution thing. Now other people coming out talking about it. They putting Jay-Z was a part of it. They telling their story, and it all is coincide what we said years ago.
Oh, about that. So Jay-Z, he told you?
That years ago, man. That years ago. What are you gonna do? They gonna do whatever. Yo, listen to me. They're the reason why rap in New York went down the drain. They made sure that these young cats didn't come up with platforms and didn't come up.
Returning to 50 Cent and the entire Canny situation. This is when things start to get really quirky. According to rumors, 50 intends to focus entirely on Jay-Z and thoroughly investigate all of the snitching claims that have been made about Jay for years after finishing his documentary on Diddy. While some fans are labeling 50 petty, claiming that he is only using this as a means of venting his personal grievance with Jay, others are quietly applauding 50, stating that it is long overdue for someone with his level of influence in the game to finally reveal Jay's purported weaknesses. Remember that 50 and Jay have a long-standing dispute. Furthermore, 50 just said that Jay continues to attempt to obstruct his economic endeavors out of hatred.
When the NFL has no issues, things like that, this is why I was saying I knew what old boy was doing. Right. With the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. Because he was doing like yeah, go ahead. He was doing some wild shit, because he was saying that to Eminem that the NFL had the issue with me, and I'm like, well, what's the issue? Why don't I have an issue when I'm becoming a partner in the actual team? But they got an issue with my performance, right?
And when he says "oh boy," for the audience that knows, he's talking about Jay-Z. This was discussed before. Jay-Z told Dr. Dre, just for people who's not up on this, or Eminem, that he didn't want you to perform part of that Super Bowl they had a couple years ago. Why do you think that is?
Well, I just
threatened. Possibly.
Not even threatened. You know, I think it's just when you take the competition from like our culture is competitive, man.
Right.
It is, but I think when it goes past the music itself to blocking things in business, then I don't understand that. Like right now, he's not even competing for a slot. You don't have a new song out that he want to be on.
And during his latest interview on Vlad TV, 50's longtime pal Tony Yao co-signed 50's accusations, implying that Jay-Z has been manipulating 50's success for years.
Wait, Jay didn't want 50 at the Super Bowl?
You didn't know that? Yeah, he didn't want.
I remember Eminem pushed for it.
That was some hated. You gotta think, 50 always been competition for Jay. Remember? I'm about $1. What the fuck is 50 Cent?
That was a long time ago.
That was what, 9, what? Was that 9?
But after that, they did a song together. Remember the whole,
but 50
Gina
was,
sneaker
50
thing?
was always competition for. Then remember Jay said, yo, 50's coming. He told Siegel and them, and Memphis Bleak and all them.
Yeah.
And come on, 50's like, he's on a whole nother level. You gotta remember, he came after Jay and Rockefeller. G-Unit came, and people might on G-Unit, but with Eminem, Dr. Dre, 50 Cent.
Therefore, it is evident that this is more than just snitching rumors for 50. There is some genuine personal animosity there. But with all of these snitching claims from those who knew Jay well, 50 may decide that this is the ideal time to finally call out Jay for what he perceives to be dubious activities. Let's be honest though, in your opinion, is this a lost battle for 50 before it even begins? Jay-Z is one of the most powerful people in the industry, and his empire is formidable. Even if 50 goes all in, it will be a significant uphill battle. Do you believe that these accusations of snitching on Jay are true? And should 50 really go after Jay? How do you feel about 50 and Kanye becoming close because of their mutual hatred for Jay? Please share your ideas in the comments section below. And don't forget to check out this next video.